welcome to this episode of Chotch Talk. What I want to do today, since it is early National Signing Day, I just kind of wanted to go through kind of what happened last year for Tennessee and what we can look forward to. And so I will not be addressing the actual this year's recruiting, besides just the overall ranking, because I feel like it's weird to analyze tweets from 17, 18-year-olds to see where they're going to go to college as a 24-year-old guy. I think that's pretty strange. Anyways, so the first game I want to look at is this West Virginia game. Now, everyone is kind of coming in this West Virginia game being like, well, I mean, we just went through that entire coaching search and it looked like an absolute disaster, and no one really wants to go through that again. And it's just like the team's just in complete disarray. And I was like, yeah, sure, fine. But we got to remember, as I pulled this doc that I made last year to kind of debunk any debate on if the Big Ten was better than the SEC. So looking here, I combined a bunch of stats, creating scenarios and stuff, and one of them was recruiting. So since 2013, Tennessee has had 5 top 25 recruiting classes, and 2 inside the top 5. So we have some good players on this team. Now you can say, well, a lot of them probably transferred after that debacle of a coaching search. And yeah, sure, we did lose a good amount of guys, but it wasn't like we lost anyone really that good. There wasn't anyone that left. It was a bunch of like second and third string guys. Like, yeah, it hurt our depth 100%. But it was no one just like, okay, yeah, we lost like Preston Williams or something like that. I think that was like the biggest name, at least I heard, that transferred away. It's like, it's not really that big of a deal, in all honesty. I mean, I don't know what Preston even transferred. Anyways, so going to this West Virginia game, our talent held. I mean, at halftime, it was a one-score game. Tim Jordan kind of carried us through, getting some absolute man-yards, trucking kids left and right. I mean, it wasn't a bad game until, the second half, but we're not going to address the second half because we all know what happened. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, Guarantano didn't have the greatest of days. I mean, the first snap under center almost went for a pick 6 when I was none too happy with that. But yeah, I mean, we showed some prowess in the first half and we kind of fell apart because we didn't have the veterans that we needed to win a game like that against West Virginia, who's an absolutely fantastic team. And the second game I want to address is Auburn. So this is where our defensive prowess really showed up. Defense, forced, as we see here, 2 picks from Jared Stidham. Also sacked him quite a few times. I mean, it was a great defensive performance. Yeah, like the 24 points looks bad. But I mean, it's also, we had to get used to them. We're playing at Jordan-Hare, which is not an easy place to win. I mean, yeah, they gained a lot more yards than us, but they're also a lot more prolific offense than we are. You kind of got to understand that. So this is the game. Of course, we didn't have that great of rushing, as you can see here from Todd Chandler, who's an absolute beast. But this is the game that we finally learned to just chuck it downfield. There were so many 50-50 balls going to Callaway and Juwan Jennings from Jared Guarantano that I was creaming myself. It was incredible. I loved every second of it. It was like the year that we went actually there's a few years where we won 8 games, but it was that year that we became wide receiver U. It was like one of Juwan's first years. It was incredible. It was just like, we got a bunch of big wide receivers. Just can go up and get the ball, and that's what it kind of reminded me of. So, it was one of those games where we finally developed like an offensive scheme that worked. Because we saw during Florida, we hadn't really no offensive scheme at all. Georgia wasn't a terrible game, in all honesty. Like, we were completely outmatched, and we didn't have a chance in hell of winning that game. But we played them hard, and we got creamed by Alabama. And this game right here, I hate Will Muschamp with all of my heart. Once again, we really couldn't get a lot of stuff rushing on the ground. Because, I mean, on honesty, no one trusted Guarantano. They forced Guarantano to throw over the top, which is why you have 207 yards. That's why Callaway has 9 catches for 86 yards. Well, when I talk about this game was stolen from us because they fumbled on the 1-yard line, clearly. The SEC is a billion-dollar enterprise. Yes, it's a conference. Yeah, sure, fine, fuck it. I don't care. There should be enough money in the goddamn budget to put multiple cameras on the goal line to see, hey, maybe someone fumbled. Maybe they didn't. Like, it's insane. They fumbled on the 1-yard line. They shouldn't have scored that touchdown. Tennessee should have won that goddamn game. Will Muschamp again just fucking weasels his way to another W against Tennessee. It's infuriating. I've been watching it for way too goddamn long. Oh yeah, here it is. It should have been a fumble. Oh no, they only showed the touchdown. Fuck that. Anyways, Kentucky, our other top 25 win. So, what I kind of wanted to show here was we can dominate great teams. Well, actually, let's put a little asterisk on great. We can beat really good teams like Kentucky. Yeah, I mean, they beat Florida. We got crushed by Florida. I mean, they beat Mississippi State. Yeah, they lost to Texas A&M, but Texas A&M was, a fumble in the end zone away from winning or beating Clemson, who's now in the college football playoff. I mean, Tennessee's a good squad. I mean, yeah, we also held Snell to 20 carries and 81 yards off those 18 carries. And yeah, you can be like, well, if y'all played Kentucky earlier in the year, you probably would have lost this game because no one developed the offense or the defensive strategy to be like, hey, maybe we should make Wilson throw the ball. Yeah, I mean, sure, fine, you make that argument. But remember, Kentucky's still coming into Tennessee, and Kentucky don't win in Neyland Stadium, baby. Anyways, all right. So, we were at that high. Let's bring it a little lower. All right, Missouri. Yeah, it is what you got. I mean, Drew Lock, I think, should be a top 15 quarterback talent in the NFL draft. The dude's really good. He's been throwing on SEC defenses like it's his fucking job. And so, I mean, there's nothing I can really say about this game. I kind of knew going into it we're going to get crushed. We were also coming off that high dub against Kentucky. I mean, we crushed them in Neyland. And then it's just hard. I mean, especially coming back to Neyland and, just having to face such a good quarterback. Because, I mean, besides Jared Stidham and Tua, we really haven't faced that great of a quarterback. I mean, yeah, Will Grier. But, I mean, I'll say this, actually. Jared Stidham's on the low end. Tua's on the higher end, and so is Will Grier. But besides that, we really hadn't played that great of quarterback. Two great quarterbacks, 3 good, I guess, coming from the bottom up. It's like, we really hadn't seen a prolific passer like Drew Lock at least perform the way he did. Also, Missouri should have beat Kentucky as well, but that's a story for another time. And in this game, I don't understand this game at all. I was sitting there just thinking, you know what? We're going to go 6-6. We're going to be bowl eligible, baby. We'll have 3 wins in conference. Go 3-5 in conference. Not be last. It's going to be perfect. And then Vanderbilt comes in here and just dunks on us from the 3-point line. I don't understand it. I mean, their defense was incredible. Jared threw the ball 29 times and got 139 yards on it. I mean, Ty Chandler had to be a man, get man yards. It was insane. Once again, I think we should be a running back U. We just have a carousel of running backs that can do incredible things. But I just don't know what happened this game. Maybe is it hard going to Vanderbilt? Although Tennessee just dominates Vanderbilt Stadium every time we play them in Vanderbilt, and I don't know. I mean, look at that crowd. It's ridiculous. Anyways, we shouldn't have lost that game. We should have played a lot harder. It looked like they kind of gave up halfway through, although they shouldn't have. Anyways, so that was the 2018 season. Now I want to focus on the overall recruiting, not the actual players themselves. So as you can see from this nice 24/7 sports thing, 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, average points. And so Tennessee, nice at 15. Nice at 15. I guess we lost a rank somehow. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, 1 5-star, 21 commits, 7 4 stars, and I think more coming. I mean, we're out recruiting, Mississippi State, Stanford, Ohio State, South Carolina, thank God. Surprised by Florida. That's actually pretty awesome. Wisconsin never really recruits that well outside of state. Is it USC? Holy shit. Doing better than USC. Hell yeah. Good shit. Alright. So we're going to get another top 25 recruiting class. So we're going to have some young guys. Give me another year of Pruitt developing a system. We need a new offensive coordinator. I would have liked for it to be Hugh Freeze. But, you know, he took a job at Liberty University, an actual religious school. But he hired hookers at his last job. Anyways, I won't talk about that anymore. So we're getting another really good influx of talent, and how that 15 might shoot up to a top 10. Who knows with the way recruiting falls and all that stuff. So let's look at Tennessee's recruiting, or Tennessee's schedule going forward. So we got Georgia State, BYU, and Chattanooga. So this is the first year in a couple of years where we haven't played someone good within the first, or out of conference immediately. I'm actually pretty excited about that. Yeah, BYU went into Madison last year and beat the Wisconsin Badgers, which was an absolutely insane upset. And I don't know how that happened. But let's be a little optimistic here. Let's say we go 3-0, 2-1 maybe. I can't see BYU coming back to back and upsetting people in their stadium. But we have to be cautious of that. Anyway, so then we're going to be at Florida, which is going to be a very interesting game. I'm just hoping we come out with a dub there. After the beating that we got this year, next year we should definitely be coming in hot. But I don't know. It's just always hard to win in Gainesville. So I'm going to chalk that up to a loss. In Florida, Georgia is always going to be tough, even when they come into Tennessee. I can't give that to Tennessee. It's just too hard. Unless like Fields transfers to Tennessee, although I think we're kind of stuck with Garantano. Although stuck is the wrong word. I like Garantano, but I mean, if someone else would, if Aaron Rodgers wants to come to your team and you have like a Marcus Mariota, you're gonna take Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, it's what you have to do. You might like him, you might like Marcus, but if you're gonna you have to take the objectively better quarterback. So that's all I got to say there. I think we beat Mississippi State. I mean, they just lost their starting quarterback. A lot of State fans are like, well, I mean, their backup's actually pretty good, and it's like, no, you're Mississippi State, chill. They're losing a lot of defensive players up front. But I was watching a mock draft last night, and it was 2 State players, or 2 State linemen went in the top 10, top 15, whatever's one of the two. So they're losing a lot of defensive prowess. So I think, especially since they're coming to Knoxville, I think Tennessee can actually edge out that West win like we did with Auburn. Bama, it's really hard. It's really hard to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa too. I can't see us beating Alabama, especially next year with Tua. After Tua, though, we have a chance. Not next year, but the year after, we will beat Alabama 100%. So South Carolina. We're beating South Carolina. I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are beating South Carolina. 0% doubt in my mind that we lose. Or no, 0% chance that we lose. 0 doubt in my mind that we will lose. All right. Especially since in Knoxville, and we just at this point, God has to look down on us and be like, we got to give Tennessee a win against Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp's just such a fucking douche. Fucking hate Will Muschamp. Anyways, we'll beat UAB. We'll beat Kentucky. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna beat Missouri. And we're gonna beat Vanderbilt. 9-3. It might be a little optimistic looking. Yes, I am a Tennessee alum, and it's. Yeah, I'm a little biased. So anyways, and that's the end of this video. I'm pretty optimistic looking forward. That second year is when you expect to see coaches kind of turn it around, kind of what Kirby Smart did. Brought an average Georgia team, I guess not average, but still a good Georgia team to a national championship game in his second year. What it took Urban Meyer about 3 years to turn his Florida and Ohio State around. So what you expect good coaches to do, really amp it up in that second and third year. And I'm excited to see what Pruitt can do. Well, alright, y'all. I appreciate y'all sticking through me through this entire video. If y'all have any comment or questions, concerns, or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. If you like the video, like. If you also like what I do here, if you like my terrible voice, subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one.